Aloha and good evening, everyone, on this pleasant Friday night from Highland, Utah. Welcome to this presentation of the Rewind Sports Network on KSLSports.com. This is a Lone Peak doubleheader, and this is Lone Peak Girls Basketball presented by Bullfrog Spas. Tonight, the Westlake Thunder prepare to challenge the Lone Peak Knights as we get to see the most dominant team in the state take the stage once again. With my broadcast partner, the voice of Olympus himself, Nathan Thatcher, Valentine's Olympus. So, Nate, turn to you. First thing I say is, on paper, this is a mismatch. But once you get out on the court, all bets are off.
That's exactly right. Especially when you're an underdog walking into a stage like this, you're going to put everything you have onto the floor. And when you're playing a player like Woolston and Lone Peak, you got to bring your best game.
Lone Peak comes out of this game holding 5 impressive winning streaks, not the least of which, Nate, is a 3-4 game winning streak over teams in the state of Utah. This is going to be arguably, though, the toughest test they have had up to this point this season, because Westlake was really the only team that gave them a run for their money last season in 6A.
100%. Westlake's going to come in here with a relentless energy. They're going to try and take away this game, steal it on the road. It's up to Lone Peak to try and defend their home court and get out of here with another win.
So let's jump into the Heidemann Associates keys to the game, presented by the full-service law firm that's committed to winning for their clients. Nate, look at them. Let's tell it to both sides what they need to do to get out of here with the dub.
So for Westlake, just like I've said, they need to limit Woolston and force other players to make up the points. Woolston, remember, she's a BYU signee and the top player in the state. She's coming off of a 2021-22 campaign where she led all of Utah 6A in scoring average and three-pointers. So far, she's averaging even more than she did last season at 19.8. You need to try and keep her to 15 or below, and you can set yourself up for success. Key number 2, you need to own the outside. Westlake has taken 338 three-pointers this season. The national average for all of the girls' varsity teams, 201. They want to take the shots, but tonight you have to make the shots. The team coming in tonight is shooting 33% from deep. I'm expecting that number to be at least 35% or higher if they want to come out of here with a win. And then for Lone Peak, don't lose the turnover battle. This is a fight you have to fight not to lose. You need to make sure that you control the tempo, you have the home court advantage, make sure that you remember you have the best player in the state. If you pay for a few minutes, recompose yourselves, find your game, and you can come out here easily with another win.
So off we go. Our first look at the Lone Peak Thunder, or Lone Peak Knights rather, this year, and it's being held out front by Shawnee Nordstrom. And on the pick and roll, there is Nordstrom, but she can't finish. A scrap for it on the floor, and we're gonna get a tie-up immediately as Kaylee Woolston and Siona Salval were in a dogfight for it underneath, but the possession arrow belongs to the Thunder.
Immediately right off the bat, you can see the speed of Lone Peak. They just took it right to the basket. If you're Westlake, you gotta make sure you know your defensive scheme, so you can't allow that to happen. No easy points.
Here's Chloe Jensen, or rather, this is a way different starting five than we had in our lineup. This is Chloe Jensen now with it out front. Jensen in the post against Bartholomew, shot clock to 15. Back to Salval up top. Shot clock to 10, Salval crossover, gets to the basket, left hand scoop, will not go. It didn't hit the rim, back out, Jensen tries the corner three. That's no good, and Kaylee Ika comes down with the rebound.
Great board that time by the defense. Make sure you set up your offense and get a nice easy bucket right here.
Ika takes the shot, pull up 15-footer right side, yes.
Ika's just got a smooth flow to her game. She just knows exactly where she wants to go in the court and where she wants to get her shot. Great open look that time by the point guard.
Chloe Jensen out front. Into the post now, lob. Torkanu turns, puts up the hook shot. That doesn't go. And the rebound taken down there by Naya Tanavasa. Tanavasa swing. Ika, one dribble, puts up the three. Bingo! And she's got all 5 points, Thatcher, here early on.
Yeah, I said before the game they need to focus on Woolston, but Ika's starting to take this game over early in the first quarter.
Seems like she's up to her old tricks again. Her and Kaylee Woolston, who were part of that state championship team a year ago. That's taken away. That's Naya Tanavasa. Tanavasa drives in, and that one rolls in off the front of the rim.
Fantastic defense that time. Stayed up in her face and made sure she could finish on the other end when she got the steal.
Jada Willis now matched up against Shawnee Nordstrom. And Nordstrom gets the takeaway. In transition, here come the Knights. Nordstrom puts up a wild shot. That doesn't get That doesn't go. Haley Woolston now off front, swings to Ika, now she'll reset.
It'll be interesting to see if Woolston can try and get on the board right here. It looks like she's going to try and make her own shot.
Jada Willis is the one defending her right now. Shot clock to 15. Bartholomew fakes the dribble handoff. Shot clock to 10. Has to probably do something. Gets it knocked away by Torkanu. Now here's Woolston with 4. Back to Ika. Gotta put it up. Back to Woolston, and she's not going to get the shot off. That is a shot clock violation. Not something we've said terribly often this year, but it has happened. A good defense there by the Thunder.
That's exactly what Westlake wants to do. You want to make sure you keep Woolston defended closely. Make sure any of the other hot players in this game stay away from the basket. That was great transitioning, great movement, and great communication down low for the Thunder.
You know, do you feel like, Thatcher, that maybe Westlake is feeling a little bit of the jitters right now as they're trying to settle into their offense as Ika gets another takeaway? She's all by herself down the other end of the floor and scoops it up and in. But do you feel like that's the case right now?
As far as what we're seeing on the court right now, you could probably attribute jitters to what they're putting out right now. It seems like there's a little miscommunication on the offensive side of the ball. We saw great defensive possession last time. I just think right now they need to pass the rock around, make sure you get wide open shots to start off. Then you can start creating stuff on your own.
Well, on cue, there's a travel. Jada Willis falls to the floor after taking the bump. Turnover will go back to Lone Peak here. 4:32 officially left to go. Remember, the game clock bug on your screen is not the official time here inside the gym. As Woolston knocks down the 3. And Devin Olnick has already seen enough. He's going to take an immediate timeout. And look at this, Lone Peak, no surprise, up 12-0 here. Barely halfway through, Thatcher. And, you know, we talked about how this could potentially be a mismatch on paper. I mean, we're seeing just how good this Lone Peak team is. They're frighteningly good.
Yeah, exactly. And this is exactly what a good team wants to do. You want to say that, hey, we're going to own this game right off from the get-go. And look at it, they're up 12-0. So right now, if you're Westlake, you have to think, okay, well, how do we get back in this game? You're already down double digits early in the first quarter. Again, like I was saying before, create open looks, pass the rock. Play your game one possession at a time, because right now, Lone Peak will take this away. They're winning in transition. They're winning on the offensive side of the ball. Take care of the rock. You can't get turnovers. And Lone Peak is doing exactly what they wanted to do in not turning it over on the offensive side and taking everything from Westlake.
Right, and sans the shot clock violation we saw at the beginning of the game, Nate, it really has been all Lone Peak thus far.
Yeah. And look at that. Woolston's not even the leading scorer so far,
right
from the start. Ika has made a tremendous effort on the defensive end, getting open looks in transition, making good shots from 3. If you're Lone Peak, keep doing that. Play your game. That's what you're here to do. Westlake is going to try and steal it from you. Just play your style and see if you can keep making that lead get higher and higher.
So Lone Peak, or rather Westlake, effectively starts over. Here's Chloe Jensen out front. Austin Feller swings it to Aisha Torkanu out front. Here's Jada Willis. Shot clock down to 16. Feller matched up against Bartholomew. Back out. Jensen has an open look for 3. That's too strong. And Tadavasa gets the rebound.
Besides the miss, that's exactly what Westlake wants to do. Pass it around, move the ball, set good screens, and get an open look.
Shawnee Nordstrom out front into the high post. Look at her just turn on the Jets. Right to the basket.
Their athleticism is just putting them way far ahead of Westlake right now. You can just see the difference in the types of rosters on this floor.
Not on the same page, and another turnover. Westlake, that's their 3rd one already here with 3:29 to go here in the first quarter. Kennedy Woolston now comes in for the Knights now. Shawnee Nordstrom now has it as the Thunder go man-to-man here. Tadavasa looks low, drives off the screen, kicks it out. Nordstrom wide open 3. Off the right rim and no good, and Torkanu comes up with the rebound and gives it off to Willis.
Looks like Westlake transitioned to a zone defense on that possession, so you need to pass the rock fast if you want to get a shot.
Finally, Chloe Jensen has a good look, and she hits it from the corner.
Hey, it's a start.
It's a start. Westlake now on the board. That's about the third or fourth good look she's had in this quarter. And I believe just the 5th field goal that Westlake has had here in this quarter, as that 3 by Ika is short. And here comes Jensen up the floor.
Seems like the zone is starting to work for Westlake. It'll be interesting to see how long they keep that defensive scheme up.
Yeah, it's what they like to do under head coach Michael O'Connor before he left at the end of last season. Devin Olnick taking over now in his first season with the club. Jada Willis on the baseline, gets it stripped by Nordstrom. Here comes Kennedy Woolston. Kennedy Woolston, corner. Ika tries it again. Air ball over the top. Tunnelus the offensive rebound. Shovels it back. Kaylee Woolston for 3. That's good.
I mean, that's just textbook setting your feet, selecting the shot that you want. Oh, she's got such a great trigger, great jump shot.
Amber Whiting's got to be watching this somewhere from her perch right now in California. They're on a road trip right now, but she must be loving every second of that as Ika gets another takeaway.
Snake Eyes pass.
Nordstrom out of the pack. And so every starter except Sarah Bartholomew has scored for the Lone Peak Knights, and it's 19-3.
They are just in the zone right now, and right now you have to say the difference is defense and transition. They're just owning both of those right now.
And it's what we thought coming into this season, right? I mean, Nathan, you and I did one game together last year, and that was the Davis against Clearfield game, and that was a bloodbath in and of itself. But I was doing this doubleheader with Colton last year. Colton Potter, by the way, who's watching back home. You know, we said Westlake or Lone Peak is going to lose only one starter. That was Tuila Nawahine. She graduated. This whole core comes back. You knew this was going to happen.
Yeah, and a big part of the game of basketball, and really any sport in general, is team chemistry. And in high school, that's definitely going to be key as well. You see that all these girls really know their roles on this team, and that's especially key in the game of basketball. Know what you're good at, know what you're not good at, and then you can create a team that just designs itself to play to your strengths.
Shelby Jensen couldn't get that one to fall. Under a minute to go here in the first quarter.
What a pass.
Kaylee Woolston! That's 3 threes in the first quarter for the BYU signee.
I mean,
that's ridiculous.
Look at Ika's eyes. She just seems to find the right players at the right time.
Siono Salval gets that one to fall off the bank. And the shot clock has been deactivated, and this will be the last possession of a first quarter that has been, as expected, all Lone Peak Knights. Woolston, no! That one tips off of bounds. Who's going to have it? Bartholomew tips it off of Torkanu Last, and it'll stay here. Clock reads officially 8.6 here in the fieldhouse.
Seems like Woolston really likes to try and find her own shot, create it. I'd be interested to see if this lead keeps continuing, to see what she can do in passing the ball around, helping her teammates out, and maybe having other people help her create the shot. She's really good at making it on her own, though. We've seen that this quarter already.
Last chance here for the Thunder. 3 on the way, off the mark. That takes us to the end of the first quarter. Our score at the end of 1 is Lone Peak 22, Westlake 5. Back with the second quarter in just a bit. After this word from Mountain Lamp Power Equipment Supply Company. Welcome back, everyone, to the Lone Peak Fieldhouse for Lone Peak Girls Basketball, part of the doubleheader presented by Bullfrog Spas on KSLSports.com and the Rewind Sports Network. Alexander Timook alongside the voice of Olympus, Nathan Thatcher. And folks, we just want to say we apologize for any misnaming of players or numbers. We try to predict the starting lineups, but we can't exactly say for sure who's going to be on the floor at the time of the game. But what we can say, Thatcher, is something that we did see at the time the game started. Lone Peak clearly is the better team, and we are seeing that in all phases here in this first 8 minutes.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier in the first quarter, you can see the difference in athleticism. And as we were kind of mentioning before as well in the first quarter, as Westlake, it could be kind of intimidating. You got those jitters, you know the opponent that you're facing, the player that they have on their court. At this point, when you're down this much, again, you have to play one possession at a time, play your style. And so you had a quarter to look, kind of plan, change your scheme, and see what you can fix.
Getting
Well, the other Woolston hit a 3 right there. Kennedy, 25-5 now is our score. Chloe Jensen and Sienna Salval have the only points so far for the Westlake Thunder as Torkanu takes it strong and it rolls in. And she'll go to the line to try to complete the old-fashioned three-point play.
Before the game started, I mentioned that Westlake really likes to shoot the three. I mentioned that they've shot 338 three-pointers this entire season when the national average is 201. It seems like right now they really want to get it down low because it seems they have bigger players, they can own the paint, and look at this, they can capitalize on an and one.
Well, right on cue, Mr. Thatcher, as Torkanu completes a three-point play.
I like Torkanu's game down low. She seems to be able to control her possessions, get good looks, as we saw in that last offensive possession.
Same starting five out of the floor, sans Kaylee Woolston. Sans, of course, Shawnee Nordstrom, who's on the bench right now, is Ika! Off the great cross-court swing. Splashes one from the corner. She's got 10.
These cross-court passes are absolutely insane, but if you're Westlake, you've noticed this is kind of a trend that's been happening a few possessions in a row. Keep your eyes and your peripheral vision open.
Torkanu can't answer back. Tadavasa chases down the rebound. Knights might have numbers if they hurry. Woolston to Tadavasa. And now Woolston will reset. Shot clock at 23 here. Just underway here, second quarter. Kennedy Woolston's three. That's off the right rim, but the long rebound bounces right to Tadavasa. Kaylee Woolston from the corner. Yahtzee! 4 field goals, all threes. She's got 12, all from beyond the arc.
Her average right now is just over 19 points a game. She could very well double that if she keeps this track up.
Salval almost threw that one away. Good defense there from Ika. Woolston almost cut that pass off. And in the corner, that three doesn't go. Salval tips it off the fingertips. It will stay here. Or rather, that's going to go back to the Knights. The officials came together and said that it went off of the Thunder last. Ellis Seymour, by the way, is the one that shot that last three. Again, we want to apologize. We're a little bit slow here, folks, and trying to name players. Shawnee Nordstrom, meanwhile, comes back in off the rack, as it were. Bartholomew counted into contact.
Yeah, great job that time by Woolston, noticing the mismatch down to the paint. Bartholomew, all she had to really do was just put it up, and she got it to go.
She stands at 6 foot, by the way, Sarah Bartholomew. And that means every player that has started has now scored for the Lone Peak Knights, as Bartholomew rattles in the free throw.
And as much as we have and will talk about Woolston, that just comes to show the talent all around for Lone Peak. Everyone can score, everyone can make their own plays.
Sam Pope comes in now. She gives Kaylee Woolston a breather. Willis drives, she's fouled. And she'll go to the line. Foul called on Shawnee Nordstrom, her first team third.
Shawnee Nordstrom, her first personal, 13 fouls.
And that will put Jada, or that's actually not a shooting foul. They're going to put it underneath, line out from underneath. Willis gets the horn screen.
Great defense down low by Jensen.
Yeah, they're just...
Excuse me, by Nordstrom.
Yeah, they're just blanketing Shelby Jensen down low, but now they let it go. There's Torkanu. That one pops out. And the rebound by Pope. Tadavasa drives. And
great.
She gets it stolen away by Feller.
Great steal.
Austin Feller with the great hands comes the other way. She puts up the hook shot. That doesn't go. Scrap forward. We're going to get a tie-up. The possession arrow says Thunder. 5:11 to go here in the first half as Ika comes back in. Woolston takes a seat.
For the Knights,
You've kind of got a small lineup now for Westlake. It'll be interesting to see what they can pull up on offense.
Yeah, really no one down low to deal with Sarah Bartholomew right now. The tallest player they have out there, Nate, you just said it, is Shelby Jensen. She's 5'8". Chloe Jensen gets it. She dribbles it off her foot. Here comes Michaela Ika. On the drive, Tadawasa, no foul. but she will go to the line.
Again, Ika's peripheral vision to find players not only in transition, but also when they pull up their half-court offense. She just seems to have full command of this offense, which is exactly what you want in your point guard.
She is just so in control, isn't she? I mean, this whole core group is, and it's such a luxury if you're 10th-year head coach Nancy Warner's Tadabasa misses the free throw. The Rewind Sports Network on KSLSports.com's presentation of high school basketball is presented all season long by Heidemann & Associates. Whether you need patents for your business or you need to handle estate planning, call them today, 801-754-4240, or contact them online at utah.law to schedule your free consultation with them. Heidemann & Associates is the proud official law firm of the Rewind Sports Network. As Tadabasa goes 1 for 2, she'll take a seat. And so returning to our point earlier that we were going to say, Nate, is that this is a luxury to have such a team that's in such command of their offense like Kaylee Ika is as a point guard. That's almost something you don't find nowadays in any level of basketball.
Yeah, and usually at the higher levels of this game, when you have players and all around a team that is just so talented, they seem to let go a little bit when they play teams that they feel can't compete with them.
Right.
I don't see that in this Lone Peak team. They seem to be relentless in their scheme, their energy, their shot making. I mean, they're just putting it to Westlake right now.
I mean, you take a look at their resume as Woolston almost hit her 5th three of the half. It bounces out. That's the first shot I think she's missed all night. You take a look at the resume this Lone Peak girls team has. They've played against some of the best teams, if not in some of the respective states they've had in the nation, Nathan. And they've beaten some of the best teams in the nation earlier this season, as we're going to get a foul.
Yeah, as you mentioned that, they've played Sierra Canyon, Sidwell Friends, and La Jolla Country Day.
Yeah, those are not walkover teams by any stretch of the imagination.
No, those are teams you see on ESPN, nationally televised programs. So they have experience against that type. I'm not saying they didn't get wins against any of those powers, but the fact that you have experience against those teams, that's when you know you can play with these guys, and then you take that back to region play, and then you can just dominate.
Yeah, especially the familiarity of region play. Thatcher, you went to Olympus High School. You know how competitive it was back in the days of Region 7. As that pass comes back out, Nordstrom takes the bump, goes to the basket. No, but she gets fouled. And they're going to say it's a shooting foul.
Foul committed by number 13, Ziona Sabah. Her first personal.
I believe they're going to say it was a shooting foul. The official made the signal for 2 shots, so it's going to be Shawnee Nordstrom shooting 2.
Seems the referees have a little bit of confusion on the call as well.
Yeah, it confused the heck out of us. I thought the bump came from right about the high post area, Thatcher. I agree. I did not think it was a shooting foul. I mean, in the NBA, that's a shooting foul, but not in high school or college.
This is a good call by the refs.
Yes. Anyway, here's Nordstrom from the wing side, and she hits another 3.
Shawnee Nordstrom for 3.
Shawnee Nordstrom pulling one out of the top rack.
At this point, if you're Westlake, you really got to press out on the wing. The reason they pulled out to a 30-point lead is their access and easy shots from the 3.
I mean, it is just all bread and butter right now for this Lone Peak team. Certainly have looked night in and night out like they are the #1 team in this entire state, as Torkanu comes up with a takeaway. Sabah wasn't paying attention to the pass. It deflected into the backcourt, and that's an over and back. And so I guess you're right at this point, Nate. You really just got to buckle down and just try to ride the storm out, because, I mean, let's face it, we knew this was going to happen, but I think if you're Coach Devin Olnick, what do you say to your team here?
I think the biggest thing, and what we just noticed from that last turnover by Westlake,
oh goodness,
fantastic.
Nordstrom hits yet another triple. But continue your point.
Yeah, as I was saying, you have to stay engaged. That's what we've been talking about with this Lone Peak team. No matter who they're playing, they seem to be engaged. Westlake, you're down a lot. Stay in the game. Make sure you understand where you need to be at what time. Keep your eyes open. Make sure you know when you're getting the pass and when you're going to be passing, when you're going to be shooting. All of the technical things, you've got to stay engaged.
Katie Rich commits the foul. She was in along with Katie Lawrence. Aisha Torkanu will go to the line to shoot 2. Torkanu hits the first. I'd like to remind you that if this score reaches 35 points, as part of a new rule this year in Utah high school basketball, and in fact nationwide, there will be a running clock except for fouls and timeouts. So we are approaching that threshold as Torkanu goes 2 for 2. And that makes it a 31-point game. I almost don't want to say the score line because it just feels so final at this point.
And that's the thing, even though it may be final in terms of chances of winning and coming back, like again, you just have to keep playing what you came in here to do. And again, this is really on the coach, on Devin Olenek, to try and figure out, okay, what are we doing wrong? What can we fix? And just slowly try and get yourself back in this game. If anything, build confidence going into the next matchup.
Well, as expected, Lone Peak running away with it early, 43-10. We'll take a pause across the network as Devin Olenek will take a timeout. We will do so with him. And we'll be back after this word from Western Governors University on the Rewind Sports Network. To the familiar strain of Don't Stop Believing, welcome back to the Rewind Sports Network's presentation of Lone Peak Girls Basketball, presented by Bullfrog Spas. Alex Aaron Swoop alongside our broadcast partner, the former voice of Olympus, Nathan Thatcher. I don't know if I should still think you're the former voice of Olympus. Are you still the voice of Olympus? I don't know. We'll figure that out at halftime, but...
You know, Alex, I'd like to think so. So keep calling me that and make me feel good.
You know, I think in my eyes, and I think in Alicia and your wife Liza's eyes, you're still the voice of Olympus. So
that's good to know, Alex.
That's good to know, yes. But anyway, it's a...
Isn't this song fitting for Westlake, I feel, right now? Lone Peak's kind of giving them a bone and saying, don't stop believing.
Jeez. I don't even know if I want to make any jokes at this point about the game. We just want to remind you the boys' game is coming up after this one, approximately 7:30. Here on the Rewind Sports Network. Feller goes inside. Torkanu goes up, or tried to go up, and she got tied up by Shawnee Nordstrom, and that is a tie-up. The possession arrow goes...
I believe they said to Lone Peak.
To Lone Peak. That's what the possession arrow says down here. Now we're going to have a conference. A meeting of the minds, as it were. A little he said, she said, and the she said overrules the he said. You would know that feeling being a married man.
Yeah, isn't that always how it is?
You know how that is.
But great job transitioning down low by Lone Peak that last time. They understood, hey, they're going to try and take it down in the paint. And they got their hands right where they needed to. Got the ball, got the jump, and now they got the possession.
Kaylee Woolston is leading the scoring right now for Lone Peak with 12 points, all from beyond the property line. Here she is, going right to the rim. Can't get that one to fall, but it's smacked out of bounds. It'll stay here. Shot clock resets to 35. As Michaela Ika comes back in. Sorry, Nate.
Yeah, no worries. Although Woolston didn't make that shot, if you're BYU, again, you have to recognize she's not only just catching and shooting, but she's creating, driving down low. She's doing great things.
That's to say the least. Michaela Ika can't get that one to go. Bartholomew hacked, and she'll put it in, plus the foul.
That's just using high tier advantage. I mean, there's nothing really else you can do. She just grabbed it and popped it right back up.
23, Aisha Torkanu.
Aisha Torkanu picks up the foul. And that will put the senior Sarah Bartholomew on the line. Shout out to her family that's watching tonight back home as her free throw is on the way and it rolls off the rim. So we are now at 35 points, which means the clock will run continuously until a timeout or a foul, or until Westlake gets it back under 14. Jensen, wing side, hits the three, and she's been the most consistent scorer so far, or at least most consistent shooter. Not afraid to put one up against this Lone Peak defense.
Yeah, quick passes, make sure you find the open man. That's how you get good looks to try and lower this deficit. I wouldn't say come back, but lower the deficit.
Tanu Vasa can't hit that three. Bartholomew tries to go back up. She lost control of it. And then the pass is tipped. But Austin Feller stepped on the sideline, and it will stay here with officially 40.7 seconds left here in the first half.
Good no call by that ref on the baseline, not calling a foul on that reach-in, but facing up against a taller opponent like Bartholomew, you really have to pay attention to where your hands are.
Well, Woolston used her off arm to shove Torkanu to the floor. That's her first team 6th against the Knights, and with officially 35 seconds to go here in the first half, there's about a 1.4 second difference, being very precise here, between shot and game clock. Salval on the dribble handoff. Jensen the floater. Got it. She's got 8 now.
That's back-to-back possessions that I think were just beautifully orchestrated by Westlake. Great job.
5 seconds. Nordstrom drives. Nordstrom floater! To put an exclamation point on a terrific first half. But then again, all the first halves have been terrific for Lone Peak this season. They'll take a 47-15 lead into the locker room.
That's going to be 2 different locker rooms at halftime, I'll tell you that much.
The question has to be asked, Nate. Is anybody going to stop this Lone Peak team?
As far as what we're seeing on the court tonight, I don't think anybody would have stopped them if they played them tonight. Lone Peak, again though, you can't just walk into postseason play and think, okay, well, we're just going to run over everybody.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what we've been saying tonight. They just seem to have a focus and an energy that, put aside their talent, put aside their athleticism, I think they can definitely go all the way this year. Maybe not with complete ease, but definitely it'll be a lot easier than other teams in the state.
Man, what a dominant first half by the Lone Peak Knights. They lead 47-15. When you come back, we'll have thoughts for the first half and what we look forward to here in the second half. KSLSports.com and the Rewind Sports Network proud to present our coverage of Lone Peak girls basketball, presented by Bullfrog Spas. Welcome back, everyone, to Lone Peak Girls Basketball, the Rewind Sports Network, presented by Bullfrog Spas. On KSLSports.com, Alex Arnstrom alongside the voice of Olympus, Nathan Thatcher, here at Lone Peak High School in the Fieldhouse. Oh, well, Nate, what do you want to talk about? What should we talk about?
Well, I think there's a few things to talk about. And, well, you can look at the score and say, this isn't, really much of anything to talk about. Well, first of all, if there's a score that big, there's obviously something to talk about, and that's obviously the chemistry and the beautiful half that Lone Peak put up against Westlake. I have to give a shout out to Ika putting up a fantastic performance as the point guard. It just seemed like she had control of that offense, put her hands up on defense, got out in transition, did the things that she wanted. On Westlake, you look at 15 points. They didn't do anything. But hey, on Tuesday, Chloe Jensen accounted for a third of her team's points. Well, in the first half, she's accounted for over half of her team's points with 8. So that's the small, shining star for Westlake right now. Chloe Jensen's obviously got the hot hand. Give it to her feeder. Let's see what they can do to maybe keep this deficit get rid of this deficit, bring it a little bit down. But Lone Peak, hey, keep playing your game, and who knows, we might see some reserves get in, get some minutes, and see if we can play a complete game on the floor for this Lone Peak Knights team.
We haven't even talked about Kaylee Woolston yet.
Yeah.
She took 7 shots, 4 of them from beyond the arc, and 4 of them went in. She's got 12. I mean, what else can you say about Kaylee Woolston that hasn't already been said, Nate?
Yeah, for the BYU signee, she had a great stretch there in the first half where she was able to get the shots that she wanted on the outside. For this half, I'd like to see some more things of creating her own shot, driving to the basket. We know she's a good shooter. I want to see if she can diversify her game in the second half.
Yeah, that's a good point you bring up, Nate. We didn't really see... I mean, I'm certain she has that ability, but I think that's some ability I think Amber Whiting would like to see from her. I understand it's going to be a project. It's going to be a little bit of work, especially going into a conference like the Big 12, as a Feller couldn't get that one to fall over the stumbling Michaela Ika. She comes the other way. Great pass to Bartholomew! So she gets dropped, and on the other end, she drops a great time.
I mean, there's no doubt right now she'll get a double-double, but Ika has just been able to find her teammates at the exact right time. Players are doubling her while she's driving to the basket. Bartholomew has already got the height advantage. All you got to do is pop it up, and she'll just put it right in. She's putting on some performance tonight, Michaela Ika.
10 on the shot clock for Chloe Jensen. She pulls up, can't get the friendly roll. Torkanu gets it stripped by, guess who? Michaela Ika, and here she comes the other way. Bartholomew now posting up down low, swings it cross court, does Tadavasa to Nordstrom, now back to Kaylee Woolston. And tries to thread the needle, the pass is deflected into the arms of Austin Feller.
That was a good idea there, but I think passing it around a little bit more, it's really hard to pass the ball across your body as a player is crossing to the opposite way you're moving. That would have been a very difficult pass to make.
20 on the shot clock, Torkanu in the corner.
Yeah, we got bodies falling everywhere.
Yeah, Feller fell to the floor on that last one. We had Ika fall, and then we had Feller fall. But meanwhile, that three falls off the window from Jada Willis.
Alex, I believe the ATM's open right there.
Yes. I don't know if she called that one. I don't know if it counts.
But she took $3 out.
Yes. The withdrawal has been made. Meanwhile, here's Bartholomew underneath. She gets bumped from behind as Torkanu left her feet. And that will put...
Again, the height disadvantage, I think, is very hard to defend because you have shooters everywhere else on the court, and then you have a very tall center at the 5. So Westlake, I think, is just doing the best they can right now.
Yeah, Sarah Bartholomew, 6'2". She's got 7 points already in this one as Nordstrom cannons her back. Feller gets the rebound. She'll start the push-up in transition. Willis couldn't control the pass, and then Nordstrom takes that one away. Inside, finds Tanuvasa, kicks it out. Kaylee Woolston, corner 3, can't get it to go. Tip out through traffic back to Michaela Ika, and she'll reset new 35.
Seems like Lone Peak is kind of just one gear ahead everywhere. It seems like Westlake's also kind of one step behind.
Yeah, and against a team like this that has such a solid core, Nate, I mean, it really is just awe-inspiring to watch this performance right now. As that ball stepped out of bounds, it'll stay here. 5:22 here in the third quarter. Lone Peak has led from virtually wire to wire as they did on Tuesday against Corner Canyon. That pass is lobbed into the backcourt. Legal play. Shot clock at 15. Here's Kaylee Woolston off the pick and roll. Bartholomew goes up strong, rolls off the rim, gets her a rebound, can't finish that one either. Kaylee Woolston goes back up, and she says, I got this.
See, even though you do have a height disadvantage, if Bartholomew is going to miss her shots, you got to get the defensive rebounds. You can't allow her to get her own misses because she's just going to be put them right in. She's got that height advantage. She'll just try and pop them in. You got to get the defensive rebound right there.
That's Kaylee Woolston's first 2-point field goal of the night.
That's a little diversifying of the game. She got the board and was able to put it back up.
Yes. The analytics people would say so. Torkanu with a nice up and under move. Can't get that one to fall. Tipped out of bounds. It'll stay here. Or it's going to go back the other way to Lone Peak as we're going to get another substitution in. Kennedy Woolston checks in to replace Michaela Ika.
As a man with a personal opinion, I believe that was a bad call by the ref, but hey, we'll let him keep playing.
It's a 33-point game, Nate. Let it go.
We can't let anything go. We can't let anything go. Let the game be played as it should.
All right, I guess you have a point. Here's Salvao in transition. Got a girl running up ahead, and the ball was kicked by Nayo Tanuvasa's outstretched left leg.
That time we saw Woolston lose the ball as she was again trying to drive into the paint. I'm still waiting for that kind of next level in her game to see if she can be able to hold on to the rock, take it to the rack. You know, that's the other thing too, is that I'm sure there are a lot of BYU fans watching this game tonight, and they've been watching probably Kaylee Woolston for the last 6 or 8 months, and you know, people have to realize as that pass is thrown way out of bounds, it'll go back to Lone Peak. Nate, is that it's going to be a project. It's going to take a bit for her to get, you know, into that shape and that frame that they're going to need for her to play at such a high level in the Big 12 Conference. It's going to take a bit. Right, and again, in the Big 12, you're going to be playing against the best of the best. And Woolston, you can already see she's laying the foundations of her game. Oh, great pass down low. Bartholomew made a fantastic time. But as I was saying before, Woolston's laying the foundations of her game. Again, like you said, she'll be able to elevate that at the next level. And she seems to be kind of like the Shayla Gonzalez player. I don't know if that's rude of me to say for BYU fans as she's moved down to Texas. But I can see similarities in both of their games where she just seems to be doing everything on the floor for him.
It also helps the fact that as an offensive foul is called against the Westlake Thunder here, it also helps, I think, Nate, that you have the brother of one of I think the best basketball players BYU's had at least the last decade, Zach Zeljas. Nancy Warner's done an amazing job just trying to help her lay that foundation.
Yeah, that's a basketball family for sure right there. And especially when you have people around you where everyone knows the game, it elevates everyone's IQ, and we're able to see that with this coaching for this Lone Peak team right now.
Yeah, you can clearly see why they hold so many impressive winning streaks, this Lone Peak team. They have a 34-game winning streak against teams in the state of Utah, a 26-game winning streak in the regular season. They have a 19-game regular season home winning streak and a 10-game region home winning streak as Jada Willis hits her second triple of the game.
Now, you mentioned that huge winning streak against the teams in Utah. And you wonder, why would they schedule against those national powerhouses outside the state?
There's why.
and putting their losses? Yeah, that's exactly why. Because when you come back home, you play region play and play other teams in the state, the game slows down for you, and it just seems that everything is going their way right now in this game.
We have a full timeout called by Nancy Warner. We'll take one with them as well. We'll be back with some more thoughts in just a few moments as Lone Peak continues to lead here on the Rewind Sports Network. Back here at the Lone Peak Fieldhouse, Alexander Timolip and the voice of Olympus, Nathan Thatcher. Lone Peak girls basketball on the Rewind Sports Network is presented by Bullfrog Spas. So Nathan, to just continue the point that we were talking about as we went into commercial break, is that, you know, Nancy Warner, I mean, she is going to go down, if not one of the best, in fact, I think the best girls basketball coach ever in the state of Utah, because not only has she proven that she can hang with the big dogs in Utah, they can hang with the big dogs in the entire nation if you look at it.
Yeah, and I think another key to recognizing great coaching is allowing your players to understand their strengths, understand their weaknesses, and then form your team to your players' best needs and interests. And you've seen, as they play their ball on both sides of the floor, it seems like every player on Lone Peak is just comfortable with the way they're playing the game right now. It just seems so apparent that they know exactly what they're doing on both ends.
It is pretty to watch, that's for sure. Siona Sabal for three, banks it in.
They're practically robbing the bank right now.
A second bank three for the Westlake Thunder. Sam Pope from the corner, can't get it to fall. Chloe Jensen looked like she might have got away with an extra step or two, but she brings it up the timeline.
Westlake's brought it within 30 for, I think, the first time in an eternity.
Willis can't hit that three. Ika the rebound. Ika drives. Trying to throw it to Kaylee Woolston, but she was way behind there. And they'll reset from out front. Approaching 90 seconds here in the third quarter. Lone Peak has led from virtually wire to wire in this one, as we expected.
They've dominated wire to wire.
Yes, dominated wire to wire, as they have for most of the season against these Utah teams. As Ika too strong off the back rim. Kaylee Rich fighting for the rebound. It's grabbed there by Siona Salval, and she'll bring it up the floor. And then Torkanu wasn't ready for the pass. And it's turned over to Kennedy to Kaylee, and now here comes Kaylee with that step back for three. And Salval gets that one, but then gets it stolen away. I mean, Michaela Ika has just had herself quite a game in this one. 14 points.
Yeah.
Officially 12.
Yeah, I think going back to what I was saying in the first quarter, it comes down to awareness on the offensive end. And right there, Salval kind of forgot what she was doing, and Torkanu wasn't ready for that pass that led to the bucket on the other end.
It's been the story of really every team I think that I've watched this year, Nate, that's played Lone Peak, as Chloe Jensen hits another three from the corner.
Chloe Jensen for three.
She's got 11 now to lead all scorers for the Thunder, and this will be the last possession of the third as the shot clock has been turned off. Kaylee Woolston spins, triple teamed, got it back out to Rich. In the corner, Sam Pope with 5. No. What a foul.
Again, you can see as Woolston was driving into the paint, she lost control of that ball. And that is due to some heavy pressure as they're trying to double and triple team her as she gets down there. But so far, she's done a great job outside. She's pulled up some great shots for mid-range. Still, again, waiting for that diversifying of the game. But great look that time by her teammate.
Sam Pope to the line. Her first shot is too strong. We'd like to remind you of the Rewind Sports Network on KSLSports.com, and our coverage of high school basketball is presented all season long by Western Governors University, where you can make 2023 the year of you by applying online for a one-year MBA that's available to you right now. Where else can you get an education that is affordable, attainable, and full of support? Only at the University of U, WGU. Pope goes 1 for 2. And this will be the last shot of the quarter. Seymour, hands off, half corner from Jensen, just short.
At the end of the third period.
Is it selfish that I wanted a Sports Center highlight right there?
Well, I saw, if it makes you feel any better, Shawnee Nordstrom did that last year for LPHS to end the first quarter, but not this time. We head to the fourth quarter, though, with Lone Peak comfortably in front here on the Rewind Sports Network on KSLSports.com. Ready to start the fourth quarter here at the Lone Peak Fieldhouse. Alexander Timoth alongside our broadcast partner, the voice of Olympus, Nate Thatcher. With the Lone Peak girls leading 56-27 over the Westlake Thunder. This is Lone Peak girls basketball presented by Bullfrog Spas. So Nate, as we start this fourth quarter, we've been talking about it quite a bit, just the talent level and the talent disparity between these two squads. But let's look now realistically at the future for Nancy Warner, because this is not going to last forever. This is going to be the last season that a lot of these players are going to play together, and thankfully all the teams must be praising the heavens above. They don't have to face this team again after this season. But the reality is, I think this is a team that's going to hang around for quite a few more years because of the talent pool they got coming up.
Yeah, and again, like we were mentioning in the last quarter, you have to attribute a lot of success to the coaching as well. She's recognized that no matter who comes into her program, she can turn their strengths into a strength for her team and this Lone Peak offense. I just think that no matter who leaves, who comes in, they'll always be good.
Now Tadabasa, the 2-on-1, gets it stripped out of bounds. It'll stay here.
I think another note to make, and coming from a background at Olympus High School, my senior year in high school when they went undefeated and won by an average of 30 points, a lot of seniors on that team. And once those guys left, you can still see Olympus has been able to keep their dominance in their region. And again, you have to attribute that to coaching. You don't have the same players. They've moved on, but yet they still keep that same winning consistency. I can see the same thing happening with Nancy Warner and this Lone Peak team. Doesn't
it feel like, Nate, that Nancy Warner almost has like this family component she brings in? Because I don't know if you've seen it, but I certainly felt that from just talking with her last year when this team was playing Westlake. It just feels like they not only have chemistry as a team, they have chemistry just as human beings. And that's rare, if you think about it, for any team these days.
Yeah, and there's a difference between being friends on the court and being friends off the court.
Right.
You've seen examples of that all over the game of basketball, but Lone Peak has just got it down to a T.
Daya Tadabasa leaves that off the glass, off the great feed from Kaylee Woolston. So only two starters now have not scored in double figures. Nordstrom, Ika, Woolston, 12, 12, 14 respectively. Tadabasa 7, Bartholomew 9. Remind you that the boys game is coming up here at the conclusion of the girls game. What a game that's going to be.
It should be a lot different than this one, I'll tell you that much.
Oh boy, it definitely should be, as an offensive foul is called on an illegal screen against Shelby Jensen. And Michaela Ika will come in one last time, and I would suspect this will be the curtain call, if you will, Nate, for these players. I suspect Nancy Warner is going to empty the bench here within the next 3 or 4 minutes.
For sure, and at this point, right, you've basically already secured the win. Run your half-court offense, run some schemes, run some plays, especially for those players coming off the bench that need some experience, especially if they need to be called on later in the season. Let them get comfortable in this offense.
Oh, Michaela Ika with the hezzy and the finish off the glass.
She's been absolutely dominant this game. Everything from offense to defense transition. I think she's just completely owned Westlake tonight.
No doubt she is cementing herself as one of the best point guards in the state of Utah right now as it stands. Shelby Jensen, that three is off the mark. And Bartholomew cleans up the board. Torkanu hit the floor again, gets up a little slow. Taduvasa kicks it out. Ika, one more, Nordstrom for three!
Shoni Nordstrom from Makini Ika.
It's an exhibition out here of just... man.
You ran out of words right there.
I'm out of superlatives to describe this. And here comes Nordstrom again. Nordstrom all the way in and scores. In a flash, she has 5 quick points, 17 for Shawnee Nordstrom. And the Thunder have seen enough. Devin Olnick is going to take a timeout.
I think I'm speechless too, Alex. This is just phenomenal basketball playing by the Knights tonight.
I mean, it's just, you just run out of words. You just run out of superlatives, really, Nate, to describe just how dominant Nancy Warner's team has been all season long. As it's a 30-second timeout, we're going to keep it on the air. No reason for us to leave our post here.
And Alex, I have a question for you.
Yeah,
if
sure.
there was a team that could maybe give Lone Peak a little bit of difficulty in the state, who do you think that would be? And is it anyone in region?
I would have asked you the same question, because right now it looks like nobody can.
As far as I'm concerned, I don't think anyone can either.
I don't think anyone can either. And we, and Dusty and Dane have talked about it at length, I think. Shout out to them. I mean, they have talked about it at length. As Devin Olnick's team is going to be given a delay game warning for taking a little bit too much time on the timeout, but...
Hey, they need all the help they can get on these timeouts.
Yeah, they need all the help they can get on these timeouts. I mean, that's what we said, I think, a lot about the teams that have played LP this year, the girls' team especially. About to finish this one up here. Swing cross court into the corner. Seymour gets it back to Salval. Shot clock down to 15. And that zone just sticking tighter to the Thunder than flypaper right now as Feller has it into the corner. Seymour puts it up with 5 on the clock. Leaves it short. Taduvasa lost it out of bounds. It will stay here.
Yeah, definitely if you want to attack the zone, it's quick ball movement and attacking the middle. On that last position, it just seemed like they were passing seamlessly around the wing. Didn't really get a good look right there.
Yeah, something's been a little lacking tonight from that Westlake Thunder offense. It's just been so potent as we got a foul against Michaela Ika out front. That'll be your second.
Number 4, Makini Ika.
And the clock will now run as we are under 4 minutes to go here. Now we have reached the mercy rule, and the clock will continue to run, so no reason for us to stop the clock except on a foul. There is about a 12-second delay between our clock and the Fieldhouse clock as Siona Salval cannot bank that 3 in. And Bartholomew picks up the rebound. I suspect that she'll have a double-double with the next basket she makes. Great hands there from Siona Salval into the hands of Seymour, now to Torkanu, and now here comes Westlake. Jensen kicks it out. Seymour, one more. Salval into the post. Austin Feller trying to shovel that pass through a whole bunch of traffic. It will stay here, and as we expected, wholesale change. The starters are all gone.
And this is what I was mentioning too earlier in the quarter. Get these players some minutes, just in case anything terrible were to happen later in the season. Make sure they know how to run this offense, and they're the future of the program. So make sure that Nancy knows how they can work, and let's see how these guys do a little bit down the road.
Shot clock down to 10. Out of 5. I don't know if Salval sees it. I don't know if anybody's aware of the shot clock. Jensen has to launch up the prayer. She gets her own rebound, though, and floats it up and in. So for all the non-awareness about the shot clock, it actually works out for Westlake on the rebound. Jensen now has 13 to lead all Westlake scorers. Shawnee Nordstrom, by the way, has a team-high 17 for the Knights, who are going to improve to 14-3, 5-0 in region play at the halfway point of the region season. They definitely looked a part of a team that could definitely go all the way to repeat as state champions. Kennedy Woolston, 3, no. We're going to get an over-the-back foul called. And that will go back to the Thunder. Just under 2 minutes to go. Officially 1:48 and counting left to go. Here in this one, we're going to reset the clock to about 1:30, and then we'll start it right on that number. So just be patient with us here, as we're going to get a foul. And it will be 2 shots, so that will stop the clock. Or at least I think it will.
Looks like they're still running it.
Yeah, they're still going to run it here.
I don't blame
Now
them.
they'll stop it. The mercy rule stops the clock on fouls and timeouts. As Salval steps up and misses the first.
I take it back. Let them play the game to perfection. Follow every rule.
Yeah, you weren't saying that earlier in the game, were you? As Salval hits the second. Well, Nate, we'll just wrap it up here with final thoughts just for a second, as this one looks like it's academic.
I just think for Lone Peak, you just got to keep doing what you're doing. Follow the tempo, follow the pace, let the game come to you. For Westlake, it's just got to be next game, you got to have a really good rebound game. It can be hard to think, hey, we had a really big blowout loss, and you may say, okay, well, the season's over. Definitely not true. This Westlake team is still very good. You got to compose yourself, come back. I think the next game will be key to the future of their season.
Yeah, this is a very young Westlake team. You bring up a good point that this is only Devin Olnick's first season.
Yeah.
And he's inheriting a lot of Michael O'Connor's squad, if you will, from last season. So it'll be interesting to see what he does in the future.
And just like these girls are going to learn in the future, I think definitely Devin's going to learn as well. And he'll be able to get it. And I think Westlake will be a contender in no time.
Chloe Jensen scoops it up and in. That's 15 for her. And Nancy Warner, Kennedy Woolston has a look over at her coach. And I believe they're just going to hold it out. And that's exactly what they'll do. The Lone Peak Knights dominate from wire to wire as they did on Tuesday. They win this one 65-32. And the winning streaks continue for Nancy Warner's crew. So now it's time to name our Heidemann and Associates Player of the Game, presented by the full-service law firm that's committed to winning for their clients. Nate, tough decision here. Who do you think it is?
You know what? I'm actually going to go with Michaela Ika. I just think everything about her tonight was perfect. She did everything on both ends of the floor, saw her teammates when they were open, but also took it to the rack when she wanted it for herself. Great job tonight by the point guard.
Well, Nate, time to get a break. We're not done yet. We got another basketball fight coming in another few minutes.
Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going.
We want to thank Austin Bigelow on the camera for helping us out. Vince Francis back in Salt Lake. The men's basketball game is coming up next here on KSLSports.com and the Rewind Sports Network. This has been Lone Peak Basketball presented by Bold Bronx Spas.
Good night.
We'll see you for the men's game in about 20 minutes.
Next up.